Hello, my name is Amy Sharp. I'm with Softwind Crafting, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I hadn't made a video in quite a while, but last night I was playing around with some old DSP, and I came up with this card, and I was like, well, I really like this layout, and I wanted to try to finish up some of my, finish up this DSP, and so I made this card as well. And then I thought, you know what? I have the new DSP for the new Settles collection, and I always forget to use my newest DSP until it becomes old DSP. So today I thought we'd go ahead and make this card here using the new Designer Series paper for the Settles collection. And what I really like are the new patterns that they have. So here is the Settles collection, and they have it for all the different colors, and the pattern is basically you have this leaves with some flowers on one side, stripes on the other. You have this pattern here that kind of makes me think of tropical. I don't know why, but it does. And then on the back is bubbles, and so we have that in all the different in colors, or not the in colors, but in the new, all the Settles colors in the collection are there. But because I don't generally use my newest DSP, I thought I'm going to go ahead and make a card using this. And we're using Balmy Blue. No, sorry, we're using Pool Party. I started with Balmy Blue and then I changed over to Pool Party. But this is Pool Party. So in this set, this card, we're using, like I said, the new Designer Series paper for the Settles collection. I'm also using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and the Cheerful Daisies dies in order to get the daisy, and then the little tag to do our sentiment on. Now the ribbon itself is some old Pool Party. It's retired, but since I had it, I said it matched perfectly, of course, with the DSP and the cardstock. I wanted to go ahead and use it. So let's go ahead and get started making this card today. So what you're going to need, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11. So this is basically cutting the cardstock in half lengthwise. And then I went ahead and oh, I just lost the word. I don't want to say scribe because that's not the word, but I did in half. So this is where the fold line is going to be. You also have, for the inside, a piece of 4 by 5 1/4. And then for the outside of the card, the DSP, I have a piece that is 5 1/2 by 2, and then 2 pieces that are 5 1/2 by 3/4 inch. Okay, so I made my card from last night. I did use the reverse side, but today I think I'm going to use so it's all one thing, and I really like monochromatic colors. So if you follow along on my Facebook page or watch some of my old YouTube videos, you'll see that I really do like monochromatic. I don't know why, it's just the way I am. Anyway, I thought we'd go ahead and get started. All right, so what we're going to do is by gluing down the DSP to the cardstock. And so what I do is I use my grid paper, and I use it to kind of line up so I can have the middle line in the center of my cardstock. And so I just kind of like line it up as best I can so that it's centered, and so that when I lay down my DSP, I can keep it as straight as possible. So I know a lot of people like using the tape runners, but I have always used liquid glue. I'm not really good with the tape runners. I've tried them before. They're just not my thing. I'm just not very good at it. I always can't seem to tear it off exactly. So what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and gluing this down to the center of the cardstock and lining it up at the bottom, and it's going to go all the way to the top of the page, and we're just going to kind of line it up and try to keep it as straight as possible. Okay, and what I like about liquid glue is there's a little give in it when you use it. So then I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. And one of the things you should note is it doesn't take a whole lot of liquid glue to get it to fasten down. It's really good glue. So what I'm going to use is leave about 1/8 of an inch in between. Again, I'm going to line it up at the bottom and lay it out. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And leaving it about 1/8 of an inch. Okay. All right. And so now what we're ready to do is to stamp our daisy. So I'm going to pull out a piece of scrap white paper, and I'm going to grab my daisy stamp from my Cheerful Daisies stamp set, and I'm going to grab my Pool Party ink. Okay, so this is one of the older stamp ink pads, but it's still good, still works, so I still use it. Okay, so we're going to stamp that up good, and since it's photopolymer, I'm going to grab a cushion for it, and this came out of actually my old positioning tool, but because it is a polymer stamp set, I want to have a little bit of cushion so it has a little bit of give when you stamp it. So here we go, and there is my stick. Gives a better impression if you have something under the photopolymer. And then I'm going to get my center. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and I'm going to try to turn that around. I'm just trying to line it up a little better and stamp the inside of my daisy. And I'm using the same colors because I'm keeping the photopolymer style intent. So what we would do is we would run it through our Big Shop using our die the outer edge of the daisy to go ahead and to cut that out, and then we'd end up with this daisy here. Okay, so now what I want to do is the same thing. I have already cut out one of the tags, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp my tag. I'm using wishing you the brightest birthday. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm sorry if my head kind of gets in the picture. I'm trying to get over it to where I can see it. Give that a, oh, and I didn't use my pad, but hopefully it'll work. It still came out pretty good. Okay, so put that aside, and then we're ready to put this down. So let me go ahead and close this because I have a tendency to stick my fingers or lay something accidentally in my stamp pad as I'm going along. So what I'm ready to do now is put this on here. I'm going to grab some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I'm going to kind of put these on the back. And when you're finished with a set of dimensionals, don't throw it away. You want to be able to use and cut out the other pieces in order to use that up as well. Let me get this off. And I really do enjoy this Cheerful Daisy set. I love daisies. I have some of the older daisy sets as well, but I really, really like this particular daisy set. So here I'm going to kind of try to line, not quite center it, a little bit down. Go ahead and put that down. And then what I'm going to do is for my daisies, I'm going to put the dimensionals towards the top, and you can see that I'm using some scrap paper, so I've already kind of like done some stamping on the back of it. You always reuse that paper. You don't have to throw it away. If it's something you can reuse, use it. And I'm going to put a couple of dots of glue at the bottom because I'm going to attach it to my sentiment tag. Just a little bit. Okay. And then we're just going to Put that there. Whoops. It would also be helpful if you took the tops off the dimensionals before trying to stick it down. Okay. There we go. And now I'm going to get some of my ribbon, and I like to leave it attached to the spool to be a little less waste. And so I'm going to go ahead and tie a tiny bow and do some adjusting. Sorry about that. Anyway, I don't know if any of you have as much trouble with some of this as I do. See, it wants to slide through, but it's not tightening up like the way I want it to. So there we go. Not quite what I had in mind, but it's okay. So I'm just trying to make it a little smaller. I do want the bow to be fairly small. There we go. Lay flat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. I'm going to grab a glue dot. And I just find that glue dots are like one of the best ways to get your ribbon to attach to your card. Go ahead and set that aside. And then we're just going to put it right here with Daisy. Lay it down. And now we're ready to do the inside of our card. So you see, this is actually a very simple card. And here we go. We're going to stamp a little daisy on the corner of the inside of our card. And you can even do this on your envelope as well. I think it makes the envelope look more attached to the card, like they match. And I kind of like that. Let me get the inside of this one. One thing I haven't done is I haven't cleaned my stamps. I'm usually a person who cleans my stamps as soon as I'm done with them. I will center that. And there you go. And now we're ready to put it to the inside. And just be careful when you are, let's close this because I almost stuck my card right into the ink pad, just like I thought I would. Okay, so when you're getting ready to put your inside to your card, do make sure that you flip the card, and because I have actually attached it to the actual back of the front. That's not going to work very well. So now we're going to attach it to the inside of our card. Remember, this is 4.5 or 4 by 5.25. And so here we go. Just a very, it doesn't take much. Kind of center it in the card. Let's go a little bit more this way. And this is why I like liquid glue, because it does allow you to make some adjustment before you actually glue it down. There you go. Now we're ready to take the bone folder, give it a good crease, and there you go. You have a very simple, but I think very pretty card using your DSP. And you can even switch out the colors, you can switch out the patterns, just like I did with my previous cards, and you end up with a really cute little card. And you can actually set whatever you want in the center. You can do it further down, you can do it offset. And this is just a great sketch to use in creating a card. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.